only light.
The radio's the only light.
Welcome back to Rock Your Best Vocals. Jim here. How to sing like Paul Stanley. I got a lot of requests for this, and I was really excited because if it wasn't for Kiss, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. When I don't remember how small I was, but these records came in the door as part of this record club that my parents belonged to. And this record club would send you records that, just to try out. And you could send it back if you didn't want them. So my parents gave me these two records, and they said, do you want to have a listen to these? Looking at, I think it was Kiss Destroyer and Kiss Double Platinum, those two albums. So I would listen to these records, and I had no idea who was singing what. I think that's where I developed this kind of desire to kind of try to manipulate my voice to sing like different people. I would try to sing like Gene one second, then I'd try to sing like Paul, and then I'd try to sing like Peter Criss, and with Beth, one of the most iconic Kiss songs ever. I have to ask, who do you think is the best singer of Kiss? While Paul is the main frontman, is he even the best singer of the band? Let me know what you think. But we're going to dive into try to sing like Paul. First, I always try to listen to the tone of somebody's voice and just try to get a gauge of what's happening physically. And that's the benefit of trying to sing like other people, trying to manipulate your voice to make different sounds, is because we learn about our own voice. We learn about our own capabilities. Aside from it just being fun to try out and make different voices, it teaches us a lot about our voice. And I find it also beneficial sometimes, especially in Paul's case, and you'll see why, is to listen to them speak. So we're going to listen to him in an interview, and we're going to listen to the qualities of his voice and try to figure out what's really happening with his voice that's different than mine. How do I have to manipulate my voice to try and sound more like him? I'm not going to sound just like Paul. Anyway, maybe not even anywhere near, because oftentimes when I do these and I listen back, and like a lot of the good viewers will say, you don't sound anything like this person, which the funny thing is like you hear something in your head and you listen back and you're like, that doesn't sound like what I thought it was. So that's why it's always a good idea to record yourself singing as well, because then you listen back and you go, oh my God, that's totally not what I thought I was singing like. So always good practice. But anyway, let's listen to Paul in this interview.
The company that bought Kiss.
You sold Kiss?
Gene and I sold.
They sold Kiss. Anyway, listen to his voice.
Company that bought Kiss.
The deepness of his voice.
The company that...
Like, I would really have to try to get super low like that.
Bought Kiss.
Bought Kiss. Bought Kiss.
Like, for me to get way down, I mean, this is my normal speaking voice.
But if I try to get down here like this, I have to try and lower my larynx. So, your larynx, if you yawn, then my larynx is really low. You can hear there's a little something else that he's doing.
Gene and I sold.
So there's a little bit of epiglottis closure in there.
Now, I know you're probably listening to me going, that doesn't sound a darn thing like him. But if you listen to my voice, I'm closer than I am with my own voice. So
if I was going to try to manipulate my voice to sing like, I have to have a little bit of epiglottis in there. That's a little bit too much, but there's just this little bit. If I just go with just a low larynx, it's quite airy and kind of just, there's no bite to it, right? But if I add a little bit of epiglottis.
Kiss outright from the...
Kiss outright.
It sounds to me like he's just speaking from here. There's just so much happening in this region, in his throat. Everything is happening there.
I'll go to the makeup, to everything.
The publishing? The makeup to the,
I mean, if I was like, it's me speaking like this, the makeup to the, like, listen how different that.
If I go like this, the makeup, the publishing.
We sold everything.
A lot of we sold everything. We sold everything. I have to really get down there. We sold everything.
It's so incredibly low, his voice. Okay, so we're going to dive into Detroit Rock City because he does sing high in that. He sings kind of a combination of high voice and a little bit lower, so he's kind of a little all over the place with it. But when we listen to that speaking voice. I know
when I go like that, it almost sounds a little bit like Meatwad, or like, Jar Jar Binks, or Kermit the Frog. That's where the epiglottis. I'm closing that down a little bit too much, right?
so when I do it, it sounds a little.
It sounds a little cartoony when I do it, right? And I'm not saying Paul sounds cartoony, but
I sound like Yoda. I'm sorry.
No, you don't, Paul. I sound.
I sound like Yoda when I do this. You don't sound like.
You don't sound like Yoda. That's just your voice, Paul. It's not. Anyway, let's get on to Detroit Rock City. We're gonna listen to him sing and see what he's doing different than what he speaks, but also what he's including from his speaking voice.
Well, is some of that quality in there when he sings, and can we apply that to the singing?
I feel uptight on a Saturday night.
There's that. He's singing that higher part is quite light.
I feel uptight. It's light, right?
It's not heavy. It's not.
I feel uptight.
That's too strained and heavy. It's quite light up there.
9 o'clock. The radio's the only light.
The radio's the only light. So if I think of that low larynx, that's really,
I'm trying to make just sing all from here. But with the low larynx, it's not like I'm not singing up in my throat. I'm not pushing it up.
It's coming from this place of like really loose, open throat. The radio's the only light.
That part where he's light, there is that false fold distortion that's so beautiful.
I feel uptight on a Saturday night.
I feel uptight. Ah! There's a little bit of, I feel uptight. Ah!
So the weird thing is about false fold distortion is if you're relaxed in the throat,
down here, relax down here.
up in the top, above your vocal folds, your true vocal folds, which are in your larynx there, above that, there's this false fold material, right? So it's this kind of meat at the back of the inside of the back of your neck, the back of your throat. So the way to find that is to go from
this big yawn open, and then just start to close down in the back.
So you close that down in the back. But if you try to keep this open at the same time, that's where you can get this lovely effect of
Sounding really open and loose. I feel uptight. I feel uptight on Saturday night. I feel uptight on Saturday night. If I add a little bit more of that epiglottis in there, I feel uptight on Saturday night.
So it sounds a lot more like him than it would be if I wasn't manipulating my voice. Maybe it doesn't sound exactly like it. I really never know until I listen back, because I'm hearing what I'm singing in the headphones, and there's this thing that your mind does. It always go, oh yeah, that sounds a lot like it. Now it happens to everybody. We tend to kind of think something sounds different than it does. Usually we think it sounds better than it does. Sometimes the other way, but usually we think it sounds better than it does. Anyway, let's listen.
9 o'clock.
So that clock, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
If I was just to sing that kind of normally, 9 o'clock, it's quite closed down and thin, right?
That's where this loose, open throat kind of Paul Stanley talking. 9 o'clock. It's like down in here. Clock.
It's not clock up here. He's not going up into the nasal pharynx, not nailing. 9 o'clock. It's really still down in the throat.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Let's listen to the rest of that.
Radio's the only light.
The radio's the only light. The radio's if you go like this, the radio's the only light.
It's kind of getting there. But it's a lot of work to try and manipulate my voice, which is nothing like Paul's normal voice. to get to get to that sort of.
I really have to think about that. Really open up. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Ah, 9 o'clock. I mean, I would never really say clock down in here, but Paul, when he says clock is like all down in here. Everything is like happening in this big open space down here.
It's amazing. Anyway, let's move on.
I hear my song and it pulls me through.
I hear my song. I hear my song. Oh, so open. I hear my song and it pulls me through. And it pulls me through. A little more epiglottis.
Now I can sing this in a different way. Like let's try different ways of singing in this. Anyway, let's try different ways of singing this song. I'll kind of go through these, and I'm gonna just see which one you think sounds a bit more like it. Because sometimes, I may think, oh, that doesn't sound like it, but it may do after. Like it may actually, it does actually sound like it. But I'm gonna try different ways.
The only light. I hear my song and it pulls me through.
So I'm gonna try to kind of push a bit more into it. Like just with like kind of brute force a little bit, right? I hear my song and it pulls me through. So I have no control in that. It's just kind of, I hear my song and it pulls me through. I'm really kind of, pushing into that. I hear my song and it pulls me through. There's no control. I can't control that. So I don't think that's the right way to go. I hear my song and it pulls me. That to me just sounds so it feels forced. It feels really, really struggly to get there.
Versus kind of taking it from this position, I hear my song and just leaving it kind of, I hear my song and it pulls me through. My song. If you think that, go like this. I hear my song. I hear my song. I hear my song. Take it from I hear my song and it pulls me through. That to me sounds a bit.
I mean, it sounds like that to me, but I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm only going off of kind of what my mind is like going, my mind's tricking me into thinking that sounds a lot more like him than maybe it does. But
there's that lightness. I hear my song. Oh! If I'm open, that kind of false fold distortion is a lot easier to get. Oh! I hear my song and it pulls me through. I'm trying to keep open. I hear my song and it pulls me through. And it too much epiglottis there. And it pulls me through.
Too much epiglottis.
And it pulls me through.
That may be a little bit more like it. And if I take it out completely,
and it pulls me through. And it pulls me through.
There's no kind of bite to it then, right? It's just kind of
yawning your way through it. And it pulls me through.
Add a little epiglottis.
And it pulls me through.
A little bit. That's it. Just a little bit. Too much.
And it pulls me through. And it pulls me through. Too much epiglottis. And it pulls me through.
Just the right amount. You can have that bite. You can kind of lean into it a little bit more without it sounding kind of airy and too loose. Let's move on.
Comes on strong, tells me what I got to do. I got to.
Comes on strong.
All of that.
Comes on strong. Tells me what I got to do. I got to. Kind of leans into that. Let's listen back to that.
Comes on strong, tells me what I got to do.
So comes on strong. If I really open up, comes on strong. Comes on strong.
So I'm trying to push into it a little bit more there
to get more of a,
rather than a light kind of thin false fold,
trying to get a little bit more,
comes on strong. Comes on strong.
Rather than
comes on strong.
Try to get it more down here.
Comes on strong. Tells me what I got to do. I got to. So I don't know. It's a little bit closer. I mean, I I don't know. That's really, there's not really much more to do with that. I mean, we could go through the rest of the song, but as far as Paul's voice, you know, if you listen to him speak, and then if you listen to like some of the live stuff from him, you hear the way he kind of goes up into this, you know, when he talks, he's really up in that kind of head voice, you know, that throwing it up there, like kind of head voice falsetto-y, kind of just really that lighter voice.
Has everybody had a good time tonight? Woo! All right, if you want more, I want to hear everybody here say rock and roll! By God, this sounds just like Detroit Rock City!
You know, he's not carrying a lot of the weight and the tension from below. He's just really, up there like that. So if you just take a look at that, let's kind of play around with that. You can play around with this really open. Bring it down a little bit lower. Oh, comes on strong. Oh, so strong. Tell me what because like Paul, it seems like he just lives down in this space here. It's like, oh, that's where the sound's coming from. He's not, there's nothing up there. It's not this kind of up there. No, it's really like deep, throaty, wide, like just like velvety sound. And I mean, like, so that's kind of all I have there. I mean, let me know in the comments below, you know, when you play around with this, record yourself, see what you think. Let me know if I even got close. Like I always say, like it's just fun to play around with your voice, to experiment, to learn all about what your voice can do. And that will make you a better singer. Just playing around with your voice and discovering new things about your voice that you didn't know yesterday. So that's what it's all about. Learning and growing, and rock your best vocals where your best keeps getting better. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.